What's going on? It's your boy Connor Conflict. 3 days in a row. Let's come on. Let's go. That's probably a world record for myself. Something casual. Today, as you see by the title, who the Miami Dolphins. I don't know what I'm titling yet. It's either who the Miami Dolphins, who I want them to hire, or who I think they'll hire. Nonetheless, you get the point. We're breaking down some of the candidates and who I think / who I want for us to hire. So, lots been going on. Joe Judge literally just fired an hour ago. Not like Dolphins will want to touch him with this 10-foot pole, but we got some interviews, as you can see by the screen. If you can read it, it's kind of, I don't know if I'm fine with you guys not being able to read it, but yes, breaking it down. So, interviews so far: Dayball, McDaniel, Dan Quinn, Kellen, Moore, Vance Joseph. Let me go back. What we know the Miami Dolphins are looking for in a head coach, basically what we've gotten from the press conference, is that I don't think they're not going to only pursue people with experience, but I feel like they're definitely leaning towards someone who's been a head coach before. They don't want someone having to learn on the job again. Not that it's bad. Like, first-time head coach is not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm getting the feeling, and just from the reports I see, that they want someone who's been a head coach before. So that's a whole separate category that I'll have broken down. But as for the interviews, I mentioned the names. I like basically all the interviews, because, just because you interview someone doesn't mean you're going to hire them. I think all the guys are pretty good candidates. Dayball is probably my top choice, who I want us to hire. Good offense. So worked with two in the past. Mike McDaniel, one of basically Shanahan's big buddies. He's going to provide a run game. There's lots to like there. He's young, so you don't know how that'll necessarily work out, but not something to necessarily look away from. Dan Quinn, he's very controversial. I feel like most Dolphins fans don't want him. I think I'm more lenient towards him than most people. Like, yes, his head coaching career highlighted by the 28-3, not ideal, but he's got the Cowboys defense playing well. I hope he doesn't bring that defense per se to the Dolphins, but I think he seems to be a good leader. Everyone who's been around him has nothing but good things to say. So I feel like in the head coach, I'm looking for more of like a leader, someone who's going to bring the team together. I think there's potential there. It's not necessarily who I want, but I think I wouldn't look away from it, and I think it's definitely something the Dolphins will pursue. Following him, Cowboys OC, Kellen Moore. He's been a hot name on the block for the past couple years. He's supposed to be a young, up-and-coming offensive mind. Sean McVay's basically making people a livings. Cowboys offense is good. The scheme seems solid. I'm not against it. I don't know much about him besides just that he's OC and he's young, bright offensive mind. Vance Joseph, previous Dolphins defensive coordinator, got the Cardinals defense playing pretty well despite some injuries, and honestly I feel like they don't have that much talent. Like, they got some young corners that are playing really, really well. But there's not a lot of big names. Obviously, J.J. Watt's coming back healthy, but the guy Isaiah Simmons, Zaven Collins, Buda Baker. I'm blanking on some of these names, and obviously I'm not a Cardinals fan, so I'm a little ignorant. But he's got that group playing well. We've seen him before. When he was with us, he was all right. Long time ago. But the defense seemed all right. He previous head coach, so once again, what the Dolphins are looking for. And then I have a list of candidates who we've not yet requested to interview, but I think not all of these guys will get interviews, but people that I think will eventually get it. Doug Peterson also seems to be the fan favorite. Someone also I'm very keen on us potentially. Fuck the video. Hopefully it hasn't been like that. I'm going to just stop and start and see what happens. Okay, I apologize for that. My camera just shit the bed. We're back. Left off on Doug Peterson, like I said, fan favorite. Probably one of my top personal candidates as well, if not the top. I'm not fully set on who I want the most, but he's definitely up there. Super Bowl winning head coach. He's got experience, which the Dolphins want. Fired after bad season. Conflict between him and the front office. They kind of mutually parted ways. There were some questions with the quarterback. They benched Wentz. That hurts. There's a lot of things going on. Kind of rejuvenated, looking to get a head coaching job, and it very much seems like he will. With the Dolphins, it seems like a decent chance, quite frankly. Next candidate, Byron Leftwich, Tampa Bay OC, former player. Obviously, there's a couple of former players, but seems like a good hire. Tampa's offense is good. It was good pre-Brady, too, so don't get it twisted, but Brady is definitely probably heavily involved right now. But the offense with Jameis was good, besides Jameis being Jameis, but love Jameis. I think he's a fine candidate. Once again, I'm not too deep involved in who he is and whatnot, but I think he's a fine candidate. And I'll probably make another video doing more of a deep dive when the list gets more narrow, but as of right now, it's still a very broad search. Eric Bieniemy, who's been a hot name around the block past couple of years. I feel like he's gotten so many interviews and hasn't gotten one, like a job, that makes me concerned that he's probably not the guy, but I could be wrong. Obviously, KC's OC, who usually when they get head coaching jobs, they do well. So he's not necessarily calling the plays, but heavily involved. He's a candidate. Once again, not too much knowledge. I forgot to take Kellen more off of here because he's just recently. Honestly, the next guy, as you can see, is going to be very controversial. I feel like most people would disagree with me, but I like Todd Bowles as a potential candidate. He's older, defensive-minded, had previously the Jets coach, but he's got good defense. He seems like a good leader. People like him. He's got the Bucs defense playing very well. They do have a lot of talent, but I don't know. I feel like he could fit what the Dolphins want. Definitely experience, definitely former head coach experience. Not necessarily success, but I think he's definitely someone that they'll be interested in. Once again, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Not fully sure. And then the last guy I got, obviously there's a list of much more people, and I'm sure they'll be interviewing people that I don't have here. But Nathaniel Hackett, honestly, I'm blanking. I'm assuming he's the Packers OC. I couldn't remember if he's OC or QB coach, but I'm pretty sure OC. Yeah, he's OC because the QB coach is Fluff. I'm blanking on his name, but I think he was with the Dolphins at some point. Whatever. Nonetheless, Nathaniel Hackett, Packers OC, and Aaron Rodgers. God, Aaron Rodgers just literally publicly endorsed him on the Pat McAfee show. Obviously, he's endorsed him prior to that as well. Obviously, LaFleur's offense is good. He's got a lot of experience, not necessarily as a head coach. I think he was the Jags OC when they made their big playoff run, and that offense played very well considering the talent. Like, it wasn't a very talented offense, and they were able to do well. So those are the candidates. So now I will break down who I personally want, who I think the Dolphins will want. Like I said, I think they value experience the most, so I have asterisks next to people who have previously been head coaches in the league. So Dan Quinn, Vance Joseph, Doug Peterson, Todd Bowles. They've got interviews with Quinn and Joseph. They don't with Peterson and Bowles. For me personally, I prefer Peterson and Bowles over Joseph and Quinn. But I that what I said. So I prefer Peterson and Bowles out of those four. My top candidate as of right now is Brian Daboll, Bills offensive coordinator. Was Tua's offensive coordinator at Alabama. It'll be reassuring. I intended to mention this earlier in the video, but I do think who we hire as a head coach could be a potential tell on who we're trying to pursue at quarterback. If we go with Daboll, I think it's a clear giveaway. We're trying to build around Tua. Not that I'm necessarily saying that's the right thing. I think that's a topic for another video. But it would just be nice to know what the direction they're trying to go in. I think even like someone like Kellen Moore is kind of more centric towards Tua. But Kyle Krabs, Locked On Dolphins, great content. I'm sure you all already watch him or know who he is, but he made a good point. Like, if we were to hire Eric Bieniemy, who Deshaun Watson has publicly stated he wanted as the Texans coach, I think like that's kind of an indicator that they aren't sold on Tua and are probably looking to move for Watson. So I think who they hire could be a potential tell. I told you who I think they'll hire. I think they're going to hire probably Doug Peterson due to the experience. He's offensive minded with an RPO kind of built offense, so it works for Tua. Although, I mean, he's going to have his options. So I think the Dolphins will hire Doug Peterson. Who I want them to hire is between, I mean, I think I like all of these guys. Not all of these guys, but I like a couple of these guys. Top of my list as of right now. But it's not really like a set list. I'm not really like dying for one person, but I'll say top of my list right now has got to be Brian Daboll, just because the relationship with Tua, his offense is good. Even though it's Josh Allen centric, I think it's not necessarily he's doing what he has to with what he's got. He's got some good players though. So Brian Daboll's top of the list. I would say Doug Peterson's not far behind, and then I really could care less. Like, not necessarily I could care less, but like I don't have like a big number 3. But I like Bowles as a potential option. Kellen Moore, I like his potential option. And then, like, Kellen Moore and Mike McDaniel are, like, kind of right there as well. Like, those will be, like, fun, exciting guys. Like, they're going to bring an offense, which, like, that's exciting. So, yeah, I would say, like, all those guys are right there at number 3. The Dolphins, like I said, Dolphins want experience, so I think they're going to go Doug Peterson. Kyle Krabs, as I formerly mentioned, is chugging for Doug. Like I said, I'm personally on the Brian Daboll bandwagon, but I wouldn't be upset with Doug Peterson. Let me know down below in the comments who you think we should hire. Feel free to comment as much as you want. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm trying to interact with you guys and try and hear what you guys have to say. So appreciate you guys for watching. Maybe I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Don't know. We'll see. Deuces.